die Front in breiter Formation zu durchbrechen. Im Süden hat der Gegner Zossen genommen und stößt auf Stahnsdorf vor. Der Feind operiert jetzt am nördlichen Stadtrand zwischen Frohnau und Pankow. Und im Osten ist der Feind bis zur Linie Lichtenberg-Marsdorf-Karlshorst gelangt.
Mit dem Angriff Steiners wird das alles in Ordnung kommen.
Mein Führer, Steiner konnte nicht genügend Kräfte für einen Angriff massieren. Der Angriff Steiner ist nicht erfolgt.
Es bleiben im Raum Keitel, Jodl, Krebs und Burgdorf.
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Wer sind Sie? Dass Sie es wagen, Sie mein Befehl zu widersetzen! So weit ist das also gekommen. Das Militär hat mich belogen! Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS! Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht als Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich.
Die Generalität ist das Geschmolz des deutschen Volkes! Sie ist ohne Ehre! Sie nennen sich Generale, weil Sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man Messer und Gabel hält! Jahrelang hat das Militär meine Aktionen nur behindert. Es hat mir jeden nur erschöpfenden Widerstand in den Weg gelegt. Ich hätte gut daran getan, von Jahren alle höheren Offiziere liquidieren zu lassen, wie Stalin. Ich war nie auf einer Akademie. Und doch habe ich allein auf mich gestellt, ganz Europa erobert. Verräter! Von allem Anfang an bin ich so verraten und betrogen worden. Es wurde ein ungeheurer Verrat geübt am deutschen Volke. Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen. Mit ihrem eigenen Blut werden sie bezahlen. Sie werden das saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut.
Bitte gerne. Jetzt beruhig dich doch.
Meine Befehle sind in den Wind gesprochen. Es ist unmöglich, unter diesen Umständen zu führen. Es ist aus. Der Krieg ist verloren. Aber wenn Sie, meine Herren, glauben, dass ich deswegen Berlin verlasse, irren Sie sich gewaltig. Eher jag ich mir eine Kugel durch den Kopf. Tun Sie, was Sie wollen.
The convergence of globalization and technology has created a new brand of terrorism. There were persons who, for whatever reason, came to view their home country as the enemy.
The kind of right-wing, religious-based domestic terrorism.
Disturbing news tonight about homegrown terror.
Part of this is big change in the White House, a new cultural experience, and some of the crazies are coming out of their closet.
Right now, it looks like there is no connection between the men arrested and any known terrorist cell.
Homegrown.
Homegrown, I should say.
Folks, we've got a very serious situation here. I'm holding what is called the right-wing extremism, current economic and political climate, fueling resurgence and radicalization and recruitment. And in it, we talked about the fact that they define pro-lifers as domestic terrorists. They put this in a Department of Homeland Security document, this official assessment, now saying pro-lifers, people that believe in end-time prophecies, people that are opposed to the administration's position on immigration, those of us that are standing up for the sanctity of life and for the sanctity of marriage, all of those are now potential, and this is what they're saying, domestic terrorist.
It's a terrorist next door that could be our bigger threat.
They call people who believe in the sanctity of life, who believe in owning firearms, who believe in serving their country in the military and coming back, who are very concerned about the policies that this nation is embarking on, spending too much money, taxing too much. It's all listed right here. These are the domestic right-wing extremists.
1 million names under the watchful eye of the United States. America's so-called terrorist watch list has hit a record number, according to one of the country's most prominent civil liberties groups.
That's a lot of people to keep track of. They're adding new people all the time.
It's a secret list that you don't know really quite how one gets on, and you don't know how you get off.
And new at 10, controversial remarks about Oklahoma's Tea Party. Jessica, they're being compared to some homegrown terrorists.
Well, Paul, not just any terrorists. The chairman of the Oklahoma Democratic Party compares the Tea Party to Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh. Wallace Collins describes McVeigh as an anti-government right-winger and sees Tea Party activists in a similar vein. In fact, he said recently, if McVeigh were alive today, he'd be a member of the Tea Party.
Today, the vice president accused the Tea Party of acting like terrorists over the debt ceiling debate. Yes, terrorists. Now, was that just political snarkiness in the heat of battle, or is the Tea Party under attack by the establishment?
To sacrifice the local economy. He was prepared to sacrifice the towns around Yosemite when he was on a jihad against American citizens getting access to health care.
I honestly have trouble getting inside the heads of some of our Tea Party extremist ideologues in the House of Representatives. I think that one explanation is that shutting down government is part of their agenda. They simply are on this kind of anarchist agenda that dislikes government and many of its functions, and this effort fulfills it.
Has done a study now to help authorities identify domestic terrorists. See if any of these potential warning signs seem familiar. The report was put together by the Missouri Information Analysis Center. It warns that militia members most commonly associate with third-party political groups. They may display Constitutional Party, Campaign for Liberty, or libertarian material. Militia members are, quote, usually supporters of Ron Paul, or Chuck Baldwin, or Bob Barr. A motivation for militia activity, according to the government now, is the anticipation of the economic collapse of the U.S. government. Uh-oh. And the report continues that militia members may have cartoons and bumper stickers. Yes, with anti-government rhetoric. Or sometimes they'll have a Ron Paul bumper sticker, or they'll have this flag, "Don't tread on me." It's a snake. This is a flag that was used during the Revolutionary War. It reads, "Don't tread on me." The rattlesnake has 13 rattles on it, representing the 13 colonies, and they're never to be split apart or it doesn't rattle and warn people. This is our founding fathers. Apparently, one of the most popular among militia members is this flag. If I only had a cartoon, a Ron Paul bumper sticker, and started yelling, "Get off my land right now," you could safely call me an enemy of the state.
They're coming out and profiling huge groups of people. You know, if you voted for a certain political candidate, you should be considered a potential threat. And you couple that with things like the Patriot Act, where if you are a threat in their eyes, you can be held without access to judge, jury, and without access to a lawyer or even to your family. That's very concerning, because we've watched our country go through and do this to brown people, you know, overseas. They're rounding up enemy combatants and they're putting them in camps, and they are torturing them. That is a fact. We know that.
In Missouri, a new document meant to help Missouri law enforcement agencies identify militia members or domestic terrorists has drawn criticism. The February 20 report called the Modern Militia Movement mentions such red flags as political bumper stickers for third-party candidates, such as Ron Paul, who ran for president, talk of conspiracy theories such as the plan for a superhighway linking Canada to Mexico, and possession of subversive literature. So the state police in Missouri have been told that if you see a car with a bumper sticker that opposes the so-called creation of North American Union, the superhighway, that you are probably following a militia member, that you are following an anti-government radical. If you see a car with a bumper sticker that says Ron Paul for president, you might be dealing with a violent radical. Exercise extreme caution.
I imagine these Tea Party guys are like strapped with dynamite, standing in the middle of Times Square at rush hour and saying either you do it my way or we're going to blow you up, ourselves up, and the whole country up with us. So you tell me how those kinds of standoffs end.
They've strapped explosives to the Capitol, and they think they are immune from it. The Tea Party caucus wants this crisis.
Well, the GOP has become the Wahhabis of American government, willing to risk bringing down the whole country in the service of their anti-tax ideology.
Liberals have portrayed them as the latter. I want to give you just a few specifics. Tina Brown, editor-in-chief of Newsweek, said they were suicide bombers. Tom Friedman, New York Times, compared them to Hezbollah. Peter Goodman of the Huffington Post said they're acting like terrorists. William Yeomans on Politico, he teaches law, said the Tea Party faction in the House has now become full-blown terrorists. Fareed Zakaria, you played this in the beginning, so they want to blow up the country. Paul Krugman, they want to blow up the economy. Even David Brooks, the only kind of conservative they're happy with at the New York Times, said they have no sense of moral decency. And today, the Vice President of the United States said they're acting like terrorists.
President Obama today proposed something new, something called prolonged detention. Doesn't sound that bad, right? Prolonged detention. Did you ever see the movie Minority Report? It was based on a Philip K. Dick short story. Came out in 2002. It starred Tom Cruise, remember? He played a police officer in something called the Department of Pre-Crime. Pre-crime is where people are arrested and incarcerated to prevent crimes that they have not yet committed.
Mr. Marks, by mandate of the District of Columbia Pre-Crime Division, I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Darrell Duganos to take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours and 4 minutes.
No,
I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything, but you're gonna. Future murder. Creepy, right? Putting somebody in jail not for what they've done, but for what you're very sure they're going to do?
There may be a number of people who cannot be prosecuted for past crimes. In some cases because evidence may be tainted, but who nonetheless pose a threat to the security of the United States.
We're not prosecuting them for past crimes, but we need to keep them in prison because of our expectation of their future crimes.
Previously, there have been several reports, such as the Mayak report in the state of Missouri, but this is the first time that a report such as this actually named individuals. Once you label someone in a derogatory manner, an extremist, a potential militia member, terrorist, whatever term is used, for some people the moniker will remain. Before you can persecute people, before you can incarcerate large numbers of people, you have to marginalize them. You have to create the image that these people are dangerous to society, or they're extremists or radicals, call them what you will, but marginalize them from the mainstream of society so that at that point the rest of society will accept the persecution that might result upon this group. It's been an age-old strategy that's worked in every totalitarian regime in the history of the world, and that's why we're concerned here in the United States when we see this kind of marginalization going on about people who voted for Ron Paul or people who voted for Chuck Baldwin. Why are they being marginalized? Why are they being singled out as a potential danger to society? And I think it's shades of the strategies and tactics of totalitarian regimes in history past, and that should never happen in this country.
The people in Washington, D.C. haven't represented what was on the American people's minds for a long, long time. They are the most disassociated, discombobulated, disconnected people on this planet. And they necessarily had to do that for all the violations of the Constitution that they've done.
Just how far are you willing to go before...
Open Your Eyes, People is an end-time publication broadcast with specific focus on the signs of the times, end of the age, Jesus' soon return. This is Evangelist Anita Fuentes. Open Your Eyes, People brings you the latest in breaking news world headlines matching Bible prophecy. God said in Isaiah chapter 46 verses 9 through 10, He declares the end from the beginning. Are we living in the last days? Is all that is happening been prophesied in the Bible? Are we the last generation? These and many more questions are answered through this Spirit-led broadcast. With over 180 nations tuning in each week, it's no wonder God is using this broadcast to see hundreds come to salvation each week, rededicate their lives to Christ, and sharpen their walk in the narrow way. We need your help. We cannot do this alone. We need your financial donations to help keep and support the work of this broadcast ministry to reach and disciple even more souls. Time is short and the day is dawning. Donate today. Go to www.emof.org. That is www.emof.org. We need your donations. Visit us today.